back to the Misadventures of Mr. Fish. I'm Mr. Fish. Hey. Today's a little bit of a different one. So, one of the comments I get a lot whenever I share any of my pictures of my minis or anything like that is, Fish, how do you do your bases? Or those bases look amazing. And I feel like a lot of that comes from the fact that a lot of people are intimidated by basing. The base of your mini is almost like a little mini diorama, and I feel like a lot of people would love their minis more if they actually took the time to put that extra little bit of zazz in them. Now, I was going to say right now, texture paste, texture paint, crackle paint, whatever you want to call it, totally acceptable. Does this Necron Overlord look like he lives in a desert? Yes. Do you need anything else? No. Do you even need to do this? No. It's your hobby. Do what you want. But if you want to take it to the next level and show a little extra love, take that A+ paint job and give it an A+ base, here's some little tricks to teach you. Basing is a great way to add uniformity to your army. So I like to just use basic glue, white glue, and I just daub it right onto the base. Then I just use a wet beat up brush to help move it around, get it ready for the flocking. And then you always want to make sure that you use at least 3 different shades of flocking. I use some straight sawdust to give me like fake leaves, dead debris kind of vibes. I also use the big green bins as well as the like dead grass wasteland colors. And then I tie it all together with just a really fine dead green flock. You can see little bits of other stuff in there. I sprinkle around all over everything, and then boom, nice done base. And that's the simple way. But now that I got all those done, see, looks good. Looks like you're walking just through some trampled earth. But no, we're going to take it to the next level with all the accoutrements of nature. Little shrubs that we can use for bigger flock, some different colors just because then it adds more realism, some different types of like roots and vines, reindeer moss and stuff like that. So all these different shades will add so much more to their base. And then just literally use either some regular glue or some super glue, and you can tack them on, no problem. And then I also use these little things from like Christmas decorations. You just pull them apart. I could use nice little things, and then from there, you can actually just take, and the plastic's real malleable, and you just pull it apart. So this one little branch right there, I just take 1, 2, and 3, get that extra big stem out of the way, and then I can take those 3 bits and I can glue them down onto the base as well. And now we get that nice little rooted plant look, like, it just adds that new growth. You are more than welcome to also paint those. Some people like to prime them to give you exotic colors. And then, boom. Adds so much more life to it, that vegetation. And you can do anything from wild colors, but we're not done yet. Now we'd add tufts. You can totally use static grass. I like tufts. Tufts work good. The little dab of super glue, or you can use Elmer's glue, and it just brings that little bit more life to your vegetation. I don't know. It just adds a lot of dimension to it. And I think it just makes it so much better. I use a cross of Deadlands and Highlands. Just because I like the color palette of the young grass with dead grass. It makes it look like the vegetation is dying off, but at the same time it's always growing new vegetation. So And if you guys would actually like a little tutorial on, fancy tweezers or something like that, how to put all these little things on there, let me know. And for the final step, basing your minis is a way to say, this is mine. From my world, my ideas, my lore. This is my army. This is mine. And I love the story that it tells.
Boy, if you like my mate Mr. Fisher's content, give him a like. And if you don't want to miss future content, go ahead and subscribe. Now hurry up, you git. Oh, and thank you very much.
So yeah, hopefully that wasn't too tricky to follow, but I definitely think it makes for a very dynamic base without doing too much. And then, like I said, because I love the extra flair, have to name them all. So, and yeah, and you can do this on anything, like McGrath's. Real simple. You can take it up with your HQs, make them feel like they're doing more. Even take advantage of some of their hidden features, like that little dino print that you don't really notice in a lot of people's paint jobs when you got some growing in it, like something's been going through here. Yeah. Or you can use it to do little nods to your friends who play Necrons and want to show that you scare away their little spirits. Or you want to go all out and do something ridiculous because you spent entirely too much time painting a mini. Tanya, the War Mistress. Yeah. After I spent way too many hours painting this beauty from Geargut's Mech Shop, I had to give it an epic base. And with this, is the exact same concepts as with everything else that I showed you, just taking that extra step. So this is just a couple sheets of cork that I layered up to make it look like broken ground, hit with the same primer as everything else in my models, then just went over it with a quick dry brush of dark gray followed by light gray followed by white. So it might have been like pavement to snow white basically. And you know what, it adds that rocky texture to it. And then some twigs, I just super glued to it. And like I said, you don't have to use any specific glues. Yes, there are some amazing super glues out there. There are cheap super glues you can use that will definitely let you know that they are cheap when you try and get them to stick to your model. But there are others that are, really good. There's ones from Army Painter if you want to go all out that have different tips on them designed for doing stuff. You can go even further if you want to and get some like the 5-minute epoxy stuff, and then you'll know that it'll never come off. So yeah, like I said, this was just a little BS tutorial, not really so much an actual tutorial, but just my way of saying don't be scared. You want to buy something like this, like this was $11. I bought this when I started hobbying in 2019, and I've only used this much. My dark green I used a little bit more. I like my dark green, especially around like rock formations and stuff like that. But I mean, I bought those in 2019. it's 2022 now, and I'm still well into my use of them. And then, like I said, little containers, it's just the little flocking, the light flock, just because you gotta have variants and stuff like that. One thing I have thought about is static grass, but I think the tufts work for what I'm doing right now. I don't use a lot of full grass for like my jungly forest highlands. It's weird how I would describe my bases, but you know, aliens. I mean, it's not Earth. If it is Earth, it's Earth 40,000 years in the future. So, again, have fun. Like I said, by no means am I saying that taking and doing a simple crackle paint base, that's amazing. I've seen people do ridiculous things where they've taken those elements and doing it with like the Martian rust, so it looks like, you know, dust gathering up into all those little nooks and crannies too. So long story short, have fun. It's your hobby. Don't be scared to experiment. Worst case scenario, peel it off. I've taken an X-Acto knife to my bases so many times to scrape off things that I didn't like afterwards and just redo it, because it's 50 cents worth of glue. Like, on a good day or on a bad day, because like, you know, super glue, Elmer's glue, like that's dollar store glue that I use. It's like 15 cents for me to base an army. Just saying. So I hope this helped ease your mind. Have fun, much love, and thank you for tuning in for more Misadventures of Mr. Fish. Have a good one.
Blah, 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 blah.